Hello everyone. Today on Be Uplifted, we will be sharing a simple formula used by Dr. Joe Dispenza on how you can begin to manifest love and money as soon as you finish watching this video. I will not only explain how to manifest what you need, but also explain what manifestation is and the power of being the creator of your life, especially when other things in your life are not going the way that you planned. At the end of the day, it really becomes up to you to decide whether you are rich or poor, successful or not, happy or not, or how your family or your friendships turn out. Yes, you may be thinking that yes, you decide exactly what you want in certain areas like your business or your work, but sometimes you may have a challenge when things don't seem to turn out the way you want when it comes on to your wealth or your family's finances. The question for you today: have you tried different methods to manifest your desires but are still not seeing the results that you would like? If your answer is yes, then listen to the rest of this video as Dr. Joe Dispenza shares the best method to manifest your desires faster, so in the end you will not make any mistakes while practicing this method. These teachings will center around the point where you need to change your reality and therefore change your whole life using your imagination, your assumptions, and your thoughts. It is a fact that our actions are determined and influenced and shaped by the thoughts that we keep on a daily basis, so we need to control the narrative when we think. Listen carefully as Dr. Joe Dispenza further explains these secret techniques that we can use to begin to manifest as soon as you finish watching this video.
If you keep practicing opening your heart and you keep combining it with a clear intention, then the thought and the feeling changes your state of being, which means then if you keep doing that over time, you'll feel like your future has already happened. Now, what's the significance of that? If you feel like your future has already happened, you stop looking for it. You're no longer waiting and wondering when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. You feel like it's already happened. So now you take your foot off the gas and you're no longer trying to predict or control or expect how it's going to happen. You're connected emotionally to your future.
So many people want one thing with their conscious mind. I want a new job, I want a new career, I want a new life. And yet their subconscious mind has been programmed. Now think about a program. When you create a program, it's automatic. When you create a program, it runs. So the person is, with their 5% of their conscious mind, is having this desire for something, and yet their subconscious mind is doing something else. As an example, I used to take my oldest son golfing with me, and he used to say to me when we were on the fairway, I'm really worried about hitting that tree. And I would say to him, what tree? Because if you're worried about hitting that tree, what is the imagery that your brain is creating? You're worried about not hitting it. You're doing that with your conscious mind, but your subconscious mind is creating the picture of you actually hitting the tree. That's why you're saying it. So the subconscious is 95%, so more than likely your body is going to do exactly what it's programmed to do. So what's the relevance of that? Well, people say, I want wealth, but they're programmed into being unworthy and lacking, right? So then as they begin to do the meditative work and they start opening their heart, I was just talking to someone yesterday. When you open the center, things are going to sift to the top. All the programs are going to come right up. And when they come up like that, you're going to see why it isn't manifesting in your life. Now, don't see it as like, why is this happening? Did I do something wrong? The subconscious is actually venting. There's a certain period of time in the early mornings where we vent our anxieties. We vent our fears. It's the way the subconscious goes, let's just have this dream and let's just get it over with. So the subconscious is saying, what if you hit the tree? What if you're actually going to hit the tree? You're going to hit the tree because that's exactly the imagery you have when you're trying to create something. You're saying, I really want this because I'm really afraid of dying. I'm really afraid of failure. I'm really afraid of rejection, right? So the person is subconsciously and unconsciously creating the imagery that's actually being revealed to them. So how do we change that? Well, really simple. We got to start rehearsing a new way. We got to start getting into those deep brainwave states, getting beyond the analytical mind, slowing our brainwaves down, getting into the operating system, and start reprogramming. Okay, so when this happens, these are the things I'm going to do. These are the things I'm going to do to create that, and start rehearsing those steps, priming and reprogramming the brain into a new outcome. So I have had that many years in my life, but I always have seen it as a strong sign, a strong symbol that I got something switched in my brain. I could say that people say I want to be healthy. Yeah, it's 5% of your conscious mind, but you set them at the dinner table and they're breaking all the rules of everything they said. So why does that happen? Because the program is running and they've lost their free will to a program. So now, that's important because your subconscious is talking to you. Now you got to get in there. You got to get in there and start rehearsing that you're going to step away from the table, that you're not going to eat after a certain hour, that you're going to make better choices, and rehearse them and remember what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Now you begin to, on a fundamental level, begin to rewrite the script, begin to rewrite the program. And over time, if you make one or two new choices and restrain some old choices, you'll tend to make more better choices after you make a few, because you'll start feeling the satisfaction of your efforts. So don't see it as like doing something wrong. It's just that the mind is polarized. And people will say that they want something, but the subconscious is saying, look, this is really what's happening. So get in there now. Now you have the information to begin to unlearn those subconscious programs and begin to rewrite some new ones.
The moment you feel grateful, the moment you feel abundant, now you're teaching your body chemically to understand what your mind is intellectually understood. So knowledge is for the mind and experiences for the body, and now we're embodying the truth of that philosophy. And we're literally signaling new genes in new ways and changing our future, or changing our genetic future. And if you've done it once, then if you're an athlete, you'd be able to do it over and over again. And if you keep repeating it, you neurochemically condition your mind and body to begin to work as one. And the redundancy of the act over and over again conditions the body to know how to do it better than the mind. Now it's innate in you. It's second nature. It's easy. It's familiar. It's who you are. And so I think we start as philosophers. We initiate, we become initiates, and then we master it. Knowledge, experience, wisdom, mind, body, soul. Learning it with your head, applying it with your hands, knowing it by heart, thinking to doing to being. And so I think to answer that kind of question or that comment is that, we should get up as if our prayers are already answered. The problem is that our senses fool us into separation. The person says, I want to be healed, I want to be healthy, I want to be wealthy. And they imagine it and they come back and it's not there. And when they see it, it's not there. The thought of their future creates the emotion of lack or separation. And if thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body, now you have mind and body in opposition. So then, if you think about something like appreciation or thankfulness or gratitude, when you are receiving something, when you just receive something, when something is happening to you in the moment, or something just happened to you that you enjoy, or you're surprised about, or is pleasing to you, you feel this emotion of gratitude. So gratitude becomes the signature, the emotional signature that it's already happened. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. So now when the person combines a clear intention of their future, and they open their heart and they feel the emotion of that future, their body is objective. It's the unconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between the actual experience in their life that's creating the emotion and the emotion that they're fabricating by thought alone. In that moment, their body is believing it's in that future, in the present moment. And the stronger the emotion they feel, the more altered they feel inside of them, the more they pay attention to the picture in their mind. And we could say then that they're beginning to remember their future. And biologically, it's the same as remembering your past. So if you keep practicing opening your heart and you keep combining it with a clear intention, then the thought and the feeling changes your state of being, which means then if you keep doing that over time, you'll feel like your future has already happened. Now, what's the significance of that? If you feel like your future has already happened, you stop looking for it. You're no longer waiting and wondering when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. You feel like it's already happened. So now you take your foot off the gas, and you're no longer trying to predict or control or expect how it's going to happen. You're connected emotionally to your future. Well, the antithesis is also true. The stronger the emotion you feel for some betrayal, some shock, some trauma, the more altered you feel inside of you, the more you narrow your focus on the outer environment, and the brain takes a snapshot, and that's called a memory. And so the stronger the emotion, the more the brain embosses the imagery neurologically in the brain. So then the person thinks neurologically within the circuitry of that experience, and they feel within the boundaries of those emotions. So then we could say then the person's biology is literally in the past. So you can't create a new future if your state of being is in the past. So people reaffirm their identity this way. They wake up in the morning and they say, let me think about my problems. And those problems are memories of past experiences that are etched in their brain. So they think about the person, the place, the object, the experience. And we could say then, if they believe that their thoughts have something to do with their destiny, they're thinking in the past. And every one of those problems has an emotion associated with it. So now they feel unhappy, now they feel fear, now they feel unworthy.
And they might be addicted to those feelings.
Oh, no, it's a conditioning process, because conditioning, all you need is an image. They've mastered this on television. An image or a brand and an emotion. And all you need is a stimulus and a response. So every time the person remembers their future, their past, as they remember their past, the image with the emotion is literally subconsciously conditioning their brain and body into the past. And so if they're living in the familiar past, guess what? They're going to predict the next future. They're going to want to be able to predict their future, so because that's the known. So that there's only one place where the unknown exists, and that's the present moment. And teaching people how to get into the generous present moment takes an act of awareness.